please.
Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Menasha Common Council to order. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is roll call, please.
Alderman Keehan? Here. Alderman Zielinski? Here. Alderman Spencer? Here. Alderman Nichols? Here. Alderman Taylor? Alderman Krautkramer? Here. Alderman Olszewski? Here. Alderman Benner has been excused.
The next item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing regarding a special use permit jointly by Chuck Krause and Dan Geetz to operate a used car lot at 2035 Manitowoc Road, Menasha. Director Kyle, would you like to give us some background on this before we have the hearing?
Sure. 2035 Manitowoc Road is currently occupied by a mini storage facility. The applicants are desirous of establishing a small used car sales operation on the property. The property is presently zoned C1 General Commercial. A special use permit is required for auto sales in that district, and hence the public hearing tonight. There was a prior public hearing at the Plan Commission. I believe you have some comments from that hearing as well.
If there's anyone who'd like to speak on the special use permit, you could do that at this time. You would have 5 minutes to make your case, and you could come up to the microphone and state your name and address. Is there anyone who wishes to comment on that at this time? No? Okay.
I'm Dan Geetz, and I'm the person applying for a special use permit. I keep my hat on because I was working all day and my hair's a mess. But all we're looking to do is just display 4 or 5 vehicles at the most. It's when you say used car lot, it's not really a used car lot. A lot of you have that many cars in your driveway. Me and my partner, we just want to get the license and get rolling at the facility I have, and then we want to build a larger facility in the town of Clayton in a year or two. So it's basically just to get our feet wet. We only have space for 4 or 5 vehicles. It's more or less for our personal use. Maybe make a few bucks besides doing it, which would be fun. And that's about it. It's not going to be a big elaborate thing that's going to be 100 cars or 200 cars. And I had mentioned before that the Winnegamie Dog Club, which is right next to us, they have a parking lot there that holds about 200 cars. The Stone Toad, which is an eyesight of us, has a parking lot that holds about 200 cars. And my next door neighbor, the fire department, has 4 or 5 cars there all the time. About the only objection that I heard at the hearing that we had about this was that Councilman Benner had said, well, you might have 4 or 5 cars sitting overnight. Well, just 2 points I want to make. One is that at night, most people are sleeping. So it really wouldn't make a lot of difference. But also at the fire department right down the road from us, they have 4 or 5 cars sitting there overnight too. And like I say, a lot of people have 4 or 5 cars sitting in their driveways. So it's not, I don't feel in any way at all going to impact the city. I own commercial property. According to your codes and your zoning, I'm allowed to do this, and I just ask that it be granted. Or that it goes back to the table and we talk about it again. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Geetz. I did pass out the letter that you had submitted to the council as well. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak this evening on the special use permit? If not, we'll call this public hearing to a close and we'll move on to public comments on any matter of concern to the city. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on any other matter of concern to the city this evening?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Mark.
Get out.
Tim Jacobson, 732 Paris Street, Menasha. I'd like to take time, my 5 minutes today, to not only thank but commend two people that very influential people in our community, Joel Ingnuski, president of the school board, and Chris Vanderheyden, the superintendent of the schools. I've talked to them for a couple of years. I've noticed that the marquees on the schools have been missing anything in regards to Christmas. And this year, if you've noticed, the new high school marquee had Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from his staff. And I know that in the times today, the differences that people have with the use of or saying Merry Christmas took a lot of courage for them and their staff to make this monumental decision to say Merry Christmas to our community. And I'd like to commend them and their staffs for that effort, and hopefully, I know for a fact people that I talked to in the community and told them to go by and see it, it warmed their hearts to see something like that again. And I hope that their hearts are the ones that are warmed the most in the spirit of goodwill the last 364 days, and we can do it again. So I want to thank those people, commend them for their efforts and their thoughts for the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobson. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak this evening? Seeing no one else, we'll move on to the report of department head, staff, and consultants. We have the minutes and I guess just minutes this evening to receive. Do we have a motion? Alderman Taylor.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to receive minutes A through G.
Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Item G is the consent agenda. We just have 3 items this evening. The minutes to approve from the Common Council of December 21st, the Plan Commission recommendation to approve the final plat for the second edition of Woodland Hills. The final plat is subject to extending the outlot to a width of 60 feet, as well as approving a variance to the subdivision code for cul-de-sac length based on the following. The variance will not be detrimental to the public safety, health, or welfare, or injurious, you guys are using awfully big words, Greg, to other property or improvements in the neighborhood in which the property is located. The conditions upon which the request for a variance is based are unique to the property for which the variation is sought and are not applicable generally to other properties. Because of the particular physical surrounding shape or topographical conditions of the specific property involved, a particular hardship to the owner would result. And the Plan Commission recommendation of the denial of a special use permit for the used car lot at 2035 Manitowoc Road, Menasha. Do we have any items that anyone wishes to have separated at this point? Seeing no one, do we have a motion for the consent agenda then at this time?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion for the consent agenda, items 1, 2, and 3.
Is there a second? Second. There's a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 7-0.
Item I is action items. The first item is the accounts payable and payroll for December 18th through 31st. Is there a motion? Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll move to approve the accounts payable and payroll for the term of 12/18/15 to 12/31/15 in the amount of $691,488.59.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion of the accounts payable and payroll this evening? Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 7-0.
Item 2 is the beverage operator's license applications for the 2015 through 2017 licensing period. Is Calissa here this evening? Actually, I didn't realize there were others. Let's do the others first. Do we have a motion for those recommended for approval? Alderman Nichols?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll move to approve the beverage operator's license applications for the 2015 through 2017 licensing period as listed under approved in the police department's memo dated December 31st, 2015.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 7-0.
Being that Calissa is here this evening, do I have unanimous consent from the Common Council to allow her to speak this evening? Calissa, if you'd like to address the council, we'd like to hear from you.
Hi, my name is Kayla Ferguson, and I'm looking to get my bartender's license for the next 2015 to 2017 year, and basically I have 5 charges on my record for the last 5 years. My last charge was 2 years ago, and I've progressed ever since, and I just am looking for an opportunity to bartend in your town and start school and start a career and get ahead that way.
Is there anyone who has any questions for Ms. Erickson? Attorney Captain?
Ms. Erickson, did you have an opportunity to read the letter from Lieutenant Ron Bouchard that was dated December 26, 2015?
I did. I have it right here.
Okay. And he identified 4 convictions, 4 different dates: June 6, 2011, July 20, 2011, November 8, 2012, and February 22, 2013. And are those correct?
Those are correct, yes.
On the February 22nd, 2013, you were convicted of operating without a license in the city of Appleton. Can you explain what that was about?
See, I think what happened was on November 8th, 2012, I got pulled over for a suspended license for a ticket that was unpaid. And I guess the date on here is for February 22nd, 2013, which is probably when they put it into the system. But everything was paid off, and I took care of all the bills, and it hasn't happened since.
So is that citation that you received, your license then was suspended for not paying a different citation? Is that it?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Does anyone else have questions for Ms. Erickson? Alderman Zielinski?
Thank you. Calissa, do you have a driver's license now?
I do.
Okay. Nothing pending?
No. It was 2 years ago, and I took care of it right away.
Okay. So I'll make the motion to give her operator's license.
Is there a second? There's a motion and a second to approve the operator's license for Calissa Erickson. Is there further discussion? Alderman Kramer.
Just one more question. You said you are going back to school, correct?
Correct.
Is this job to kind of supplement your income so you can do that?
It is. It works well with my schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no other questions, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 6-1.
Thank you for coming in. The chief will help you out with what the next steps are. Item L is appointments. There's one. It's the appointment of Chuck Gifford to the Exhibition Center Advisory Committee of the Appleton Redevelopment Authority. And we did include the kind of description of what this is all about and why we're making this appointment. Alderman Taylor.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion for the appointment, mayor's appointment of Charles L. Gifford, 1229 Beechwood Lane, Menasha, to the Exposition Center and Advisory Committee of the Appleton Redevelopment Authority.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 7-0.
Item N is public comments on any matter listed on the agenda. Does anyone care to make a comment on anything that we spoke about this evening? Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.